I just wanted to share with you for a minute. I was sitting here and I realized that sometimes in life we can get so careful that we careful ourselves out of our dreams. And I was just thinking, because I've been in the death care industry the last 13 years, which in its entirety is still a cottage industry. It's a calling, but it's still a cottage industry. I came from the automobile industry. A good dealer is going to have a couple of 100 million in sales. The best in the death care industry, individually at a location, you have a $8 to $10 million a year. You kick bottom. So things are relative. And it made me forget, but I remember how when we decided to spend the dealer's money for an ad, and I got into that world, it would be nothing for us to spend $15,000 for a full page ad. This is way before social media. And that ad, maybe for an event, yields two or three sales that day because we knew in the long run the ad would pay for itself. You keep your name out there, you keep it in front of the customers. Sooner or later, because everybody doesn't see your ad that day and buy that week. So you got to do branding and you do so many things. But it was just the think to spend $15,000 of somebody else's money that doesn't generate an immediate reward and you're not worried about it. And that's what I always said those who sit in the management seats. When you sit in the management seat, I used to always say, if you're scared, buy your dog. You can't second guess yourself, and we second guess our own selves because we're never prepared for the big ask. The big ask. You're worth more than what you're asking for. Ask for it. I remember selling certain vehicles that got hot one while, and I met over the years in the car business, I met some astounding people. That I knew one guy that this guy customer, not a dealer, this guy had so much money that he went around finding hot cars that no one else could get, and he would put his money on a list. Because for some lists, if you want the Bentley that everybody else wants, sometimes you got to put earnest money, $15,000, $20,000, just to get your name on a list to buy one. And he would put money down to put his name on the list without ever intending to buy the car. He just sold his place on the list. I then knew a broker from down in Georgia, and they really kind of spooked me one while because they were able to they had deals working on all types of cars all over the country in a little small city in Georgia, little small nowhere city. But they actually almost cornered the market. I could sell them at any price. I mean, they're a retailer, and I could give them a retail price because whoever they were selling was so out of it that it didn't matter what they paid for it. They were going to make a chunk. And then I met different wholesalers over the years that would always knew their clientele, they knew their whole. Let me let you know, I know the car business. They knew their whole. They knew where the market for the right Mustang would be, where the people would pay a premium for it, and they knew it, and they pay more than anybody else would, but they weren't worried about it. But it's that type of big thing that sometimes a couple bad seasons in life will make you retract from that. So sometimes, just like the prodigal son did, he came to himself. You're going to have to come to yourself, deal with the power to make the big ask, deal with the power to value yourself, deal with the power to price yourself right. You are not, I know they got Dollar Generals all over and Family Dollars and Dollar Trees and everything else, but that's not who you are. All those years of paying for your experience, paying for your education, all those paying for your experiences, because you did. You were the one that sat there and cried and got gone off on and got the dog sick on you and all that other stuff that you've gone through in business. Had to get the, prosecute this person, show up for court. You've been through all of that. Price yourself fairly. Stop giving yourself away for the cheap. You are a value proposition. You need to get acquainted with your value proposition. Then you need to get back reacquainted with the big ask. When I sold Lexus in Memphis, there's one Lexus dealer. And generally they could be a whole lot more aggressive. They sell the same customers over and over, because once you get plugged into that Lexus world, the service world, the sales department sells you the first car, service sells the second, because they're going to love on you so much that you're going to keep coming back. But they're proud of what they sell, and it's going to be reflected in their prices. Long before all of this stuff of selling over window sticker, you're going to pay a premium for buying a Lexus. So sometimes people got to pay a premium to get you. You need to get reacquainted with the big ask. Sometimes you mini-me your thinking. I'm thinking that I came out of a business I ran about a year ago, and we did $2 million. In the car business, I worked for a dealer that did $50 million. So sometimes you got to reflip your head, put it back on swivel, get your thinking straight again. You got to renew your mind. Be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. You got to reacquaint yourself. You got to think bigger. You got to make the big ask. You got to price yourself fairly. When you sold, there were different times. There once was a time where the Odyssey van was the hottest thing on the market. And if you wanted it, even they were everywhere. You're going to pay the premium. As a dealer, you said, that's it. Well, I want your best price. That's it. Well, I'm going to call my credit union. That's it. Well, I'm going to call my friend. I'm going to let my pastor know, because that's it. The price is it. Sometimes I know everybody likes looking down on their favorite car salesman, but it teaches you and it prepares you for the big ask. $15,000 on the ad, and you see one set of drive outs to go out that day. But it just breaks you from your limits. And I just had to reacquaint them. I'm not coming back to the car business, but I could advise some of you guys so greatly, because I got somebody I'm gonna put an idea in their head, and it's gonna be gold. But I'm just telling you, you got to reacquaint yourself with the big ask. Have a big ask, ASK. Have an awesome day.